of these issues. The city of Wilmington, North Carolina, once stood out as a vibrant mixed-race community. But that all came to a dramatic end in 1898 when white supremacists staged a bloody coup. Yes, a coup in America. The city's government was overthrown and 60 black men were killed. Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist David Zucchino chronicles it all in his new book, Wilmington's Lie. And he sat down with our Walter Isaacson to talk about the origins of the uprising and its long-lasting impact.
This is an amazing book because it's about 1898, but it's also about today. Describe what it was like in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898.
Well, before the coup, Wilmington was really an outlier. It was unusual. It was unique among southern cities. And first of all, it had a majority black population. It was 56% black. I think New Orleans was something like 27%. Louisville was 17%. But more importantly, it had a multiracial government, which was very unusual at the time. You had black men in positions of power. You had 3 of the 10 city aldermen were black. 10 of the 26 policemen were black. You had black magistrates. The superintendent of streets was black. The county treasurer was black. So there was this real sort of meeting of the white Republicans and black Republicans sharing power in a mid-sized southern town, biggest city in North Carolina at the time, an important commercial port. And this just drove the white supremacists crazy, and they were not going to stand with it. And they put in place a plan that lasted for several months leading up to the midterm elections in 1898.
But even other places around the South, in the early 1890s, you have a lot of blacks who've registered to vote. They start getting electoral power. So Wilmington is sort of a big example of it.
Exactly.
But throughout that period, we hadn't yet had this backlash, right?
Exactly right. And there were other towns that did have black officials, but I think Wilmington was unique. There was a Baptist publication in 1898 that called it, quote, the freest town for a Negro in the country. The other thing that was unusual about Wilmington was that residentially it was very mixed. There was still segregation in some neighborhoods, but there were a lot of neighborhoods where whites and blacks lived next to each other, particularly the working class. So it was very interesting. But as you say, this was going on throughout the South. But at the same time, white supremacists, ever since the end of Reconstruction in 1877, had been working very hard to tamp down the black vote, to crush the black